It's comfortable, and you've just upset the entire cart.
Yeah.
Great.
So either you're wrong, and I can remain in my comfortable little spot, or I have to deal with this new information that makes me currently uncomfortable.
Yes. I did a lot of that whilst my roaming in Europe.
Yeah, did you?
Did a lot of
Upsetting the apple cart?
you know, what happens, you get to drinking, you get to talking.
And since you had an alcohol budget on this trip,
I did a lot of
drinking
educating.
and a lot of talking.
As I call it, I did a lot of educating abroad. And it was pretty interesting, because people are generally, nobody really ever got defensive about it. They're just like, really? Well, that's
Yeah.
fascinating.
Well, and that's the same reaction I ran into when I was visiting Canada. You know, there was, I think I told, was it last week I was telling the story, when I was in the waiting room at Dr. Prasad's office for my evaluation, there was a woman in there, and he has a, plastic surgery business, and all the...
thriving plastic surgery.
A thriving plastic surgery business, private hospital, the whole deal. Great little place, a talented doctor, but all the literature is for nose jobs and ear pinning and tummy tucks, and there's nothing in there about genital reconstruction. So she and I are sitting in the waiting room, and she asked me where I was from, and I told her I was from the States, and wow, why'd you come all the way up here for? And trying to find out the best way to broach this new subject. Well, I'm here for genital surgery. And she says, oh, like after having a baby you want to make it tight again. Because her English wasn't as good, but it was much better than my French.
Vaginoplasty.
Vaginoplasty, right. And I said, well, sort of. No, I have a penis and I want to have a vagina. And she goes, oh, he does that here?
He's very well done for it, actually.
I know, exactly. And we proceeded to have a conversation about it. And it was you're going to run into that initial sort of surprise, but her whole demeanor and the whole reaction, the whole conversation was exactly like you're describing. It was one of very interesting. I didn't think I was going to learn about this today or talk about this today, but certainly not the sort of vitriol that you can run into in various parts of our country.
Right. Yeah. But that brings up a whole other point of like the kind of economy that the whole trans queer thing creates, as it does. Because think about it, think of the people in the New England region. For certain surgeries, you go to certain doctors. There's a doctor down in Maryland,
Sure.
Dr. Fisher. How many people, like pretty much everybody I know up here who's had a chest surgery, good chance they went to her.
Right.
And when you go to her office, there's not literature for it. There's no billboard, but that is what she's very well known for. It's like
Yeah.
Dr. Prasad. It's where a lot of his income comes from.
Yeah, absolutely. And in large parts, because when you're not marketing to a community, you're going to find those resources through personal contact. Especially when you're talking about a doctor. You want to go to somebody who you have some confidence in, somebody you trust. And you find 2 or 3 people that all had good experiences there. It's like, well, all right, that's pretty high on the list then.
It's even general practitioners.
Even general practitioners.
They have like a very large secret to client base.
There are, and it's a question we've gotten on our show several times. It's a question we fielded from people at schools. Do you know any gay-friendly dentists? Not that one in particular, but those kinds of questions.
Sure. Right.
I'm gay and I want to go out with my friends at night. Do you know any restaurants that are gay-friendly? Yeah. You're going to have sex in the restaurant, or you're going to go for food? I'm not really sure what the problem is. Go get your food. But certainly we've been fortunate that most of the businesses around here, I don't think I've had problems anywhere, because ultimately when you're a proprietor, even if you don't like the people who are shopping there, you bite your tongue, you take their money.
Right. But I think it becomes a little different when you get to a doctor.
It does.
When they're like, I don't know what you got going down there.
It does. Having somebody who's knowledgeable, or at least willing to educate themselves, is very important.
Yeah.
And a huge part of a lot of doctors' businesses.
Yeah. I would be surprised and disappointed if someone who's well enough educated to have a medical doctorate would be particularly...
It happens.
It does
happen.
Yeah, I know. I agree. I agree. It seems crazy, but yeah, you hear about that happening.
Well, and honestly, I mean, we've said it before, science and belief are not mutually exclusive. You can have
Sure.
spiritual or religious beliefs that don't allow you to cross certain medical boundaries, even if you're medically trained to. Our
Indeed.
country's continuing to debate whether that's acceptable.
Yeah.
But
in general, in this our little neck of the woods, we've been pretty lucky. I certainly have been
Oh, yeah.
very lucky to have a lot of very good doctors.
yeah.
I was telling somebody I met in Boston the other day. They were talking about Connecticut. They're from Connecticut. They don't like Connecticut. I'm like, listen, in like New London County, we have like a great kind of like community going for that kind of thing, for like queer community, for progressive things. It's like New London's this big. We have 2 gay bars. This is great. There's doctors around. There's resources around. Like, I
There's
love
an
it here.
incredible GLBT community
Yeah.
in this part of the...
Southeastern Connecticut, yeah.
For being such a small area,
And we love this
Yeah.
place. We really
Oh,
do. It's
absolutely.
like such a great place to live.
great. Yeah, there's a TV show about it. You know, it's like
Well, speaking of that, because we do have like a minute left,
right.
Yes.
we'll let people know some of the upcoming events. We do have tomorrow from roughly 2 to 5, I don't remember the exact time, we'll be at UConn for Samantha Gomes' human sexuality class. We have our group meeting this Friday. PFLAG has their monthly meeting March 8th, Monday, March 8th. They have a 6 p.m. potluck and a 7 p.m. dinner at the Noank Baptist Church. On Saturday, March 12th and 13th is True Colors at the UConn Stores campus. Friday, March 19th from 10 to 12 we'll be at UConn again for a graduate nursing panel. March 26th, Friday night, 6 to 10 p.m. we'll be at the UConn Rainbow Center for a Transgender Perspectives Coffee House. And I think you all are coming to that one.
Yes.
Probably.
And we're going to get kicked off the air in a moment, so maybe that's as much as we're going to get through.
And thank you guys so much for coming. See, I use the term guys. I use that for everybody. So,
Yes, yes.
Thank you, folks. Let me just use some general.
But anyway,
terms here.
thanks so much for coming, and please come back.
Y'all
because-
come back now.
Really,
Here.
because obviously we've just sort of scratched the surface, and I know Kyle, you had a lot of stuff you wanted to talk about that we didn't.
It's okay.
So please come back.
Okay.
Yeah, and thank you so much for coming. And for everybody out there, good night, and we'll see you next week.
Some people ask me why I dress this way. A crazy drag queen, well, perhaps you're gay. Is there a point to all these fancy clothes? With all these buckles from your head down to your toes. It's very simple, but I'm just another girl. It's not so easy, but I'm giving it a whirl. Is there something that you're trying to prove? With all the makeup and the way you move, are you looking for some sympathy?